Today I'm going to be rolling a new character on the Vanilla Gaming PvP server. This is a server that is running the original World of Warcraft. It is not authorized by Blizzard or run by Blizzard in any way. It's a fun way to go back and look at what it was like to play World of Warcraft when it first came out. For this video I'm going to be rolling a female warrior. That was not a class I ever played in the original Vanilla WoW, so this should be interesting. I'm going to cut out the opening cinematic, so if you do want to see the original opening cinematic for when you run a Alliance character, I'll put it at the end of the video. Enjoy. I've sped this video up to twice the normal amount of speed. This run took me 30 minutes to get from 1 to 10, which it's been a while since I played the original World of Warcraft, and I don't remember if that was about right for 1 to 10, but I don't think so. If I recall correctly, 1 to 10 used to be at least a good hour. When I turned in that very first quest there, which was nothing more than, hey, go talk to this guy, I automatically gained a level. So they obviously have experience gain turned on this server. My first quest after that one was to go kill some Cabal vermins. If you watch how the combat goes, you notice I'm not doing much of anything. It's all auto attack at this point. Occasionally the heroic strike will light up when I get enough rage, but not very exciting, which when WoW first came out that was okay, because that was just a standard. It's not like World of Warcraft is now, where you learn new abilities fairly quickly, and even from the start of the game you can do more than just auto attack. From these first 2 mobs I've killed, I've already gained another 2 levels. I did make the mistake of hitting the Cabal vermins hitting the Cabal workers when I should have been hitting the Cabal vermin, so this took a little longer than it should. But again, as you watch, you'll see that I do level up rather quickly. One of the other differences between World of Warcraft on vanilla and the way it is now is that your weapons had to be leveled up by using them. It's hard to see in the video that goes by, but as I'm doing this, my ability in swords keeps going up by 1. So the more I use the sword, the better I get with it. The same for defense. That is just leveled up by the enemies hitting you. It was about here in the video that I finally realized, hey, I need to be hitting the vermins and not the workers. In Vanilla WoW, when you got a quest, it did not in any way mark it on your regular map for you. So you had to read the description of the quest and figure out where to go for there. For this quest it was easy just because you can see the vermin from right outside where you accepted the quest, and it was pretty simple. While I never got to do any of the follow-up quests right around here, I know from past experience that it goes on to next you need to go kill so many of those wolves, and then you need to go in the mine and kill so many of the Cabal vermins, or excuse me, the Cabal workers. And for the first, we'll say 10 quests or so, it was fairly easy to figure out where to go and what to do. Later on, the quests merely just give you a description, such as it's east of here and you need to look for so-and-so, but it does not in any way mark it on your minimap. And I think at the time that was actually really good, because it encouraged exploration. And one of the key differences now in World of Warcraft is it tells you right away where to go, and I find a lot of times when I'm doing quests, it's nothing more than I immediately skip the quest text and just jump to where on the mini-map I'm supposed to go to. So that was one of the changes in Warcraft Vanilla and the way it is now, and I don't know it's one that I necessarily agree with. I do think that at least the first time going through it shouldn't mark on the map for you where you need to go. It should just give you a general idea of what needs to be done next. This is the first quest that I've completed, and I'm already, I believe, level 6 in this video. I think that could be a concern if this was a server that I decided to stick with and just get all the way up to 60. The reason being is that I'm going to outlevel the quests so quickly that I don't know if there are quests that I'm going to miss, because I'm going to look at my quest log and say, hey, this quest is gray, I'm not going to do it, I'm just going to go ahead and find something else. And I don't know if that's going to keep me from opening up further quests in a different area. I know there were class-specific quests for hunters and warlocks, and I'm not familiar if there was one for warrior, but I would hate to miss that just because I've skipped an entire area due to being too overpowered for the quests, and the quests not giving any rewards. As I'm going through this cathedral here, I'm trying to find the warrior trainers. I know By now, surely there's some abilities that I can buy. And, oh no, that's not the warrior trainer. In World of Warcraft now, well, I believe you learn abilities automatically. I haven't played in quite a few months, but I believe as you level up, you automatically get the abilities, and it puts it on the hotbar for you if there's room. There's the warrior trainer, leveled up again just from talking to him. I do not have enough gold to learn all of these. I think I'm just going to go with Thunderclap because that way I can damage multiple mobs at once. And for my level, I'm not going to have any problems taking on multiple mobs for this first starting area. Later on down the road, I don't know how quickly gold is going to come in. This server is, I assume, is fairly well populated. I'll do a /who here in a minute, but gold did not come nearly as easy in vanilla WoW, so I might be a little concerned later on down the line that I'm not going to be able to get enough gold to afford my abilities, to afford my mount, because if there's not enough population on here to support the auction house, that means it's all just going to have to be done from grinding the mobs and doing quests, and that might get a little repetitive, especially since I'll be leveling up so quickly that I may have to go back to gray area quest lines to finish those up for the quest gold and to defeat the mobs. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe gold flows in just perfect enough to learn abilities. I don't know. Death in vanilla WoW was a lot more common and something I think is missing from the current WoW. Not really a big deal to die, but you do have to go back. You do lose the durability on your armor. And back in the day, it just added to the, I guess, the realism of the game. It made it more interesting just to know, hey, I've got to go slow, I've got to go careful. I can't just run in and run and gun and get out. Hunters had feign death, but I don't think any other classes besides Rogue really had any other way to get out of combat when they pulled multiple mobs at once. Looking at my warrior here, there's definitely nothing I can do except run away if I pull too many at once. So far I found 3 of the 12 bandanas. Just going to go around here and try and pull no more than 3 or 4 mobs at once. While we're doing this, if you take a look at the graphics, you can see, if you play WoW now, it does look quite different. Over the years, Blizzard has done a really good job of slowly improving the visual quality of the game as expansions come out, but at the same time not making it so that older computers can't run it. I'm going to have to stop and eat. Now I know that for sure. That is one difference between this game now and, this game in vanilla and the game how it is now. 1 to 10 leveling on WoW now, you rarely ever have to stop and eat. They have it set up so that your health and mana automatically regenerate. I'm running a warrior, so I don't have to worry about mana, but back in the day, if you ran a class that used mana, such as a priest or a hunter even, it was very common to pull 1 or 2 mobs and then have to stop and drink afterward. It's one of the reasons mages were such a fun class at the time, because they were one of the only ones that could provide the free food and water. And because gold was so scarce, it actually made a difference getting that free food and water. It wasn't uncommon to go into one of the capital cities and ask to buy a stack of mage food and mage water at the time. Again, it was just something that made the community seem, I don't know, a little more real, because you did interact with other players for little things like that. And I'm not in any way trying to bash World of Warcraft for what it is now, because while I don't play it now just because the Mist of Pandaria has been out, just seems like forever, I will definitely still be playing World of Warcraft when the next expansion hits. Just pointing out the differences between vanilla WoW and WoW as it is now. Oh, there goes another level. This enemy I was fighting, he was green before, but now they are gray. This goes back to the, I don't know if I'm going to be leveling up so quickly that it's going to mess up the questing experience, but not a big deal as it stands now. Pulled 3 mobs, and even though I've only leveled 1 level, you can see they're already doing significantly less damage to me than they did just 2 levels ago, which was only like 5 minutes ago in game time. When I go back to the Abbey, I need to remember to pick up some new abilities. Hopefully I'll have the gold for them. Got my 12 bandanas. Let's head back. Had to check the map to get an idea of where I was. This private server is run by Vanilla Gaming. I actually had a friend mention it to me. He is on the server and in a raiding guild. Level 60, I believe, warrior. There are different private servers out there. But I went with this one because it came recommended, and the setup process on it was really easy. Went to their website, signed up for an account, downloaded the client itself, which was just a torrent file. I do still have the original, or not the original, but the legitimate World of Warcraft installed on my computer, and they both run in parallel with no issues at all. Setup was quick and easy on the website. Their website address, let me look it up here, is just vanillagaming.org. The setup instructions were nicely printed out. Looks like the forum posts are pretty active. They do have a donate feature, and when I was playing in game, I saw a couple adverts pop up for them that said, hey, register on our site and get some extra benefits. I don't know what those are. Maybe you get some additional leveling speed or additional gold, that kind of thing. But just from logging in itself, I didn't see any options to change any of the presets for the server. So, for example, I couldn't turn off the leveling boost that I'm getting. There are other private servers out there. I've seen a few advertised. Honestly, I don't know if I would want one that has the experience boost or not. If I'm playing this, it's just because I want to get the original vanilla experience that I had so many years ago, and it might be kind of fun to just have the very slow leveling process. But on the other hand, I do know it was very, very slow and sometimes painful, so their decision to turn on the experience gain may just be from the fact that they know that people will get bored of the leveling process, and by speeding it up, they can open up the end game that a lot of people didn't get to experience in the original World of Warcraft, and they can now. This should be the last quest I need to finish to hit level 10. This Garrick Padfoot normally would be 1 or 2 levels above me, meaning this was one of the first quests in the game where you really had to make sure that you were fully rested, you had full health, full mana, you cleared out all the other NPCs that roam around before taking on this guy. With the experience boost turned on the server, I'm already a couple levels above him, so there wasn't any need for that. I'm going to head back, turn this quest in. I've got a dead Defias thug following me, so there are apparently some minor bugs on this server, which is to be expected as it's not being run by Blizzard itself. After I turn this quest in, that will be the last of the quests in this area that are not going to be great for me, so if I was to continue playing, I would head south and probably head to Stormwind to pick up some more quests. I hope you've enjoyed this look at what it's like playing on a private WoW server. I know I enjoyed it. I can't say it's something that I'm going to take this character up to 60 just because I played Warcraft for so many years now that I just don't want to do it again. I think a lot of people would enjoy playing on a private server. I don't know the legality of it as far as Blizzard is concerned. Finding this website and getting it up or getting this client up and running was pretty easy, so obviously Blizzard knows about it. They probably figure, hey, you know, there's only maybe 1,000 or so people playing on this server. It's really not worth our time and effort to get them shut down. Lastly, here as we take a look, I hit level 10, and I do have enough gold to buy all my abilities, so that is good. Again, hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. I'm going to let this finish with me heading into Stormwind.
The noble humans of Stormwind are a proud, tenacious race. Though the recent invasion of the demonic Burning Legion decimated their sister kingdom of Lordaeron, the defenders of Stormwind stand vigilant against any who would threaten the sanctity of their lands. Nestled in the foothills of Elwyn Forest, Stormwind City is one of the last bastions of human power in the world. Ruled by the Child King Anduin Wrynn, the people of Stormwind remain steadfast in their commitment to the Grand Alliance. Backed by their stalwart allies, the armies of Stormwind have been called away to fight the savage horde on distant battlefields. With the armies gone, the defense of Stormwind now falls to its proud citizens. You must defend the kingdom against the foul mongrels that encroach upon it, and hunt down the subversive traitors who seek to destroy it from within. Now is the time for heroes. Now humanity's greatest chapter can be told.